Hello, my fellow Marks, and welcome to the Remark, the video equivalent of the guy who stands behind you at live wrestling shows shouting, "Where's Randy Savage?" You're gonna love it. My name's Martin, and this Halloween I dressed up as John Cena and didn't show up to any of the Halloween parties I was invited to. I lost a lot of friends over that one. This week, Raw took place on Halloween, a holiday that allows people to dress in outlandish costumes that would get you laughed out of a room on any other night. Or as professional wrestlers know it, Monday. Straight out of the gate is Bill Goldberg, who calls out Brock Lesnar for a confrontation, which is the wrestling equivalent of trick-or-treating at a house that gives out apples and religious pamphlets. You're setting yourself up for disappointment if you actually expect Brock to show up. Unfortunately for Bill, his loud guttural screaming sounds not unlike the mating call of the wild Paul Heyman, who arrives to reenact the scene that took place when the ECW roster showed up on the last day of work to collect their earnings.
Gotcha! 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 I got each and every one of you!
Rusev shows up to chastise Goldberg as his opening pyro really disturbed his pet dog Ziggler, and now he can't get him back to sleep. And in case some of you are concerned about Goldberg's ability to still go, just watch this brutal jackhammer.
Colin Goldberg with knees to Rusev.
Oh, sorry, I must have misread that. What I meant to say was, watch Goldberg brutally fall down like a spanner. Goldberg destroys Rusev and then hits Paul Heyman with a spear. As a result, ambulances have to be called to the arena so that EMTs can remove Goldberg from the fleshy grip of Paul Heyman's gut. Gonna need the jaws of life for that one. Even the commentary team is getting in on the Halloween fun. Byron Saxton there dressed in feety pajamas, Corey Graves dressed as David S. Pumpkins, and Michael Cole dressed as a halfway competent sportscaster.
As much as it pains me to acknowledge the fact that one of my broadcast colleagues is dressed like an adult baby.
Silly Corey. Jerry Lawler doesn't do commentary anymore. Enzo and Luke Gallows have a trick or street fight, which puts people in mind of TNA, in that it's a sloppy, embarrassing mess that involves the Smashing Pumpkins. And Billy Corgan wants nothing to do with this either. Nothing gets past Michael Cole.
Little Toy Story.
Something tells me Michael Cole is the kind of guy to watch Schindler's List and then halfway through just scream, "It's Voldemort," when he recognizes Ralph Fiennes. Speaking of which, watching Schindler's List with Michael Cole? Probably one of the 9 circles of hell. Even without the help of big cars, Enzo is brave enough to face off against this monster's incredibly intimidating presence, despite the fact that he might get turned inside out. But when Enzo's back is against the wall, he is up to the challenge, else he go back to living a bug's life and eating ratatouille. Finding Nemo.
Enough stupid references!
TJ Perkins fillets a Dreamcast on the way to the ring before he takes on his former mentor, the Brian Kendrick.
Cruiserweight tradition to shake hands before the matchup. You can't blame TJ Perkins.
Isn't it just tradition? Why would only the cruiserweights show each other respect? Sorry guys, rules is rules. If you weigh over 205 pounds, the only time I want to see you shaking somebody's hand is if you got a joy buzzer in yours.
Maybe TJP should spend a little less time in front of the Xbox and a little more time getting reality checks for how the real world operates.
I don't know. Xbox has taught me to be prepared for disappointment and for everything to come with an additional price I wasn't expecting. Also, for a while there, it would just break down for no reason. So really, a great metaphor for life. By the way, in case you hadn't figured it out yet, TJ Perkins likes video games. They've kind of glossed over it today, so I thought I'd remind you. Mick Foley is backstage talking to a guy about The Walking Dead. And then they stop talking about TNA's roster and they start talking about their favorite zombie TV show. The WWE received a Best in Show award for this year's WrestleMania, which is ironic as most of the attendees spent the first hour of the pay-per-view card out of the show, lining up. I continue to remain to be not bitter. Mick Foley comes out to talk about Hell in a Cell. And this is where those breathing exercises come in handy. Speaking of taking time to breathe, something Mick Foley completely forgets to do when lecturing Kevin Owens for his heelish shenanigans at the pay-per-view last night.
Because you have the talent! You have the talent to win the match on your own! You think that 18 years from now, The WWE Network's gonna be showing video packages of Kevin Owens as a victor and you twirling a key on your finger?
You're right, Mick. The WWE would never showcase such trivial nonsense that wouldn't stand the test of time. Remember, be sure to subscribe to the WWE Network so that you can binge watch all episodes of Holy Foley. Speaking of insufferable things, Roman Reigns arrives with a chip on his shoulder. Oh no, wait, sorry, that's the United States title belt. It's hard to tell when he's holding it like an idiot. Oh hey, Mick Foley finally improved something about Raw. Only took, what, 4 months? Roman Reigns has a microphone. And we all know how well that usually goes.
Sounds like we got a couple ghosts in the crowd, but it's all good.
Okay, that was pretty great. Roman totally zings Owens and Jericho.
You're out here hanging out with SpongeBob SquarePants and his best friend Patrick.
Toy Story.
Close, Michael. Very close. Chris Jericho accidentally starts reading aloud from Donald Trump's Twitter feed.
I don't know anything about the United States. I don't care about the United States. I don't like anybody in the United States.
Roman sells all of the damage that he took from his grueling Hell in a Cell match with Rusev like a pro.
I don't mind admitting, my body hurts right now. I'm beaten up.
I'm in a great amount of pain. My various limbs are in total agony. Ouch, owie, etc. There is a montage of clips from Sasha and Charlotte's Hell in a Cell match, showcasing just how far the women in the wrestling industry have come, followed by a promotional spot of Emma's makeover into Emmalina. So 2 different kinds of brutal right there. Byron Saxton has an exciting announcement related to professional wrestling.
Do you guys know that National Sandwich Day is this Thursday, November 3rd, and you can make a difference?
Speaking of sandwiches, it turns out the entire commentary team's collective Halloween costume is a bologna sandwich. Get it? 'Cause Byron and Corey are the bread and Michael Cole is the bologna and... Wait, does that motherfucker have 2 sandwiches? The New Day dressed up as the various iterations of The Godfather. For those of you sad that there was no Good Father being represented, never fear. The WWE itself has decided to dress up as the Right to Censor on a permanent basis. The Cruiserweight Revolution is in full effect, and Team PCB takes on Team Bad... Hang on, I think I got my poorly booked angles mixed up. This is a 6-man tag featuring these well-developed cruiserweight wrestlers, such as, I don't know, who is this guy? What's his face? Who'chamacallit? Future NXT mainstay, and Rich Swann.
Traditional handshake to start the matchup.
Good thing Enzo didn't try shaking Luke Gallows' hand earlier, or he would have been disqualified from the no disqualification match. Bayley takes on Nia Jax for a spot on Raw's Women's Survivor Series team, and Corey reminds us that both Bayley and Byron Saxton came from NXT.
Saxton exists in the same imaginary world that Bayley does, where everything is happy and everyone gets what they want out of life.
And then they both came to Raw. Turns out the Brian Kendrick isn't the only one who wants to be addressed as such.
Nia Jax, looking to take out the Nia Jax here.
No.
Sheamus and Cesaro take on Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall, and the disconnect between Michael Cole and reality becomes even vaster.
Back to words of Mick Foley, you can change the face of tag team wrestling.
Sheamus looked very upset that the WWE fans were chanting for the swing.
I'd facepalm, but I'm afraid Michael Cole would misconstrue it as me doffing my cap to him. Michael Cole attends a Raw exclusive slumber party.
I'm just wondering what Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan are thinking about tonight.
Oh, I don't know, just SmackDown Live stuff, I guess. R-Truth and Goldust have their trademark PG-13 room temperature comedy sketch inside a haunted house. And Truth understandably mistakes an inanimate wax statue for Roman Reigns. Oh, my mistake, that's actually Danny Trejo on a good day. The WWE remakes House of a Thousand Corpses. Except this time it's watchable.
Go with the room.
You should have known.
Hey.
There's something you don't see every day. Michael Cole booing somebody else. Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens are nice enough to act out one of the fanfics that I wrote about them.
I'm gonna get it tonight, Kevin. I'm gonna get it tonight. You know what the best thing is? We're best friends, right? That's right. Well, I mean, I need you. Oh.
Jericho takes on Roman Reigns for his US title, and Roman isn't the kind of guy to back down from a challenge.
You know, Roman Reigns could have taken the night off.
Please. But for real, Roman is totes feeling the effects of that Hell in a Cell match, guys.
To your point, Corey, Roman Reigns felt the shoulder tackle.
This is unprecedented. Roman is actually starting to get hurt by wrestling moves. Somehow talking about Roman's weaknesses also makes him look strong. Jericho takes to the skies.
9-time Intercontinental Champion, that's a record.
He can't be a cruiserweight, Kevin. He didn't even shake Roman's hand. Tradition, you know. Owens and Jericho beat down Roman Reigns after Chris Jericho loses by disqualification, and who should come to Roman's aid but his erstwhile chum, Seth Rollins.
They were once as close as brothers. A show of respect tonight from Reigns.
Yes, standing up and squinting at a guy now qualifies as a show of respect. I suppose they would have shaken each other's hands, but apparently that's only allowed in cruiserweight matches. So yeah, Roman blinks at Seth in respect. That'll have to do for an emotional reunion for the time being. Well, that was your trick. Now moving on to the treat. James Ellsworth apologizes to the WWE Universe for completely upstaging the Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg feud just by being a remotely interesting character. And then AJ Styles comes out to chastise him, having mistaken him for the higher-ups at TNA.
I mean, let's be honest. The only thing you owe me, really, just a little bit of that merchandise check. And let's be honest, you owe me your entire career.
The Wyatts help Randy Orton pick up a win over Kane, and JBL theorizes that Paul Heyman might want to manage them.
What a dangerous alliance this would be.
There is a monochrome video package for the monotone Baron Corbin.
Friends, family, fans.
Ah, the 3 Fs. Ties in well with Corbin's gimmick, as when he comes out to wrestle, the whole crowd lets out a collective... Trish Stratus 2.0 has a few words for Becky Lynch.
So, Becky, you can consider me the, Wicked Witch of WWE.
Quick! Someone throw a bucket of water onto Alexa Bliss right now! To see if she melts, I mean, not for a sexual reason.
Toy Story.
What? American Alpha takes on the Spirit Squad for a spot on SmackDown Live's Survivor Series Tag Team.
But I want American Alpha representing SmackDown, not the cheerleaders from Bring It On.
Yeah, man, cheerleaders. What a bunch of nonsense. Shit right off with that cheerleader bollocks. Hey, remember when WrestleMania came to a screeching halt for 20 minutes so that The Rock could stand next to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders? Anyway, never mind that. Cheerleaders are sad. SmackDown Live is nice enough to promote the Raw exclusive feud between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Much like during the Monday Night Wars back in the day, when Mick Foley was going to win the title and Tony Schiavone said, you'd best watch that show instead. It sounds sarcastic, but that's pretty much exactly what happened. Daniel Bryan guest stars on Miz TV, and Miz has some stunning accusations for him.
But now I see it. Now I see it that you have no interest in leading Team Raw to a victory.
No, shockingly, the general manager of SmackDown Live does not want to lead Team Raw to victory. Oddly enough, however, Mick Foley, the general manager of Raw, has done a great job in making SmackDown Live look like the better team. Okay, but I shouldn't tease Miz too much. He does recover from that very effectively.
You are gonna lead Team SmackDown to get beat, to get obliterated by Team Raw.
Obliterate, a verb meaning to obliterate someone's liver. Dean Ambrose is interviewed about his upcoming #1 contendership rematch.
Dean, do you feel confident that you can defeat AJ Styles and become #1 contender, knowing that James Ellis will not be ringside?
I don't know about Dean, but I know I would definitely sleep soundly knowing that spiritual physical trainer James Ellis isn't going to be anywhere near ringside. I mean, it would just be very distracting to have this dreamy, buff, Aryan-looking guy standing a few feet away when I'm wrestling. Who knows? He might even whip out the costume from the 300 prequel that he was apparently in. Yes, no James Ellis is allowed, thank you very much. James Ellsworth, on the other hand, is standing nearby feeling sorry for himself, so Dean tries talking some sense into him.
Hello, McFly.
Toy Story.
But that's not even... Never mind. In a shocking twist that everyone saw coming, Randy Orton turns out to be a replicant. Does Randy dream about RKOing Electric Sheep out of nowhere? Darsha Ellis interviews AJ Ellis about his upcoming match against Dean Ellis, and then Dean Ambrose obliterates him to become the #1 contender for his WWE title with the help of James Ellsworth, proving once again that it's not about whether or not you lose, it's about if you can take that loss on the chin. Assuming you actually have one. Well, that's enough trite pro wrestling commentary for me this week. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go watch Saving Private Ryan with Michael Cole. Toodle pip. Wow, this movie is relentlessly violent.
Toy Story.
Yes, Michael, that's the guy who does the voice of Woody from Toy Story.
Boom.
Yes, those are Nazis. You are right to boo them.
Toy Story.
Again, yes, that's Tom Hanks, the main character from Toy Story.
Boom!
Yes, the grenade certainly went boom.
Toy Story!
Why did I agree to watch this movie with you?
As much as it pains me to acknowledge the fact that one of my broadcast colleagues is dressed like an adult baby.
Silly Corey. Jerry Lawler doesn't do commentary anymore. Enzo and Luke Gallows have a trick or street fight, which puts people in mind of TNA, in that it's a sloppy, embarrassing mess that involves the Smashing Pumpkins. And Billy Corgan wants nothing to do with this either. Nothing gets past Michael Cole.
Toy Story.
Something tells me Michael Cole is the kind of guy to watch Schindler's List and then halfway through just scream, "It's Voldemort," when he recognizes Ray's brutal jackhammer.
Howard Goldberg with knees to Rusev.
Oh, sorry, I must have misread that. What I meant to say was, watch Goldberg brutally fall down like a spanner. Goldberg destroys Rusev and then hits Paul Heyman with a spear. As a result, ambulances have to be called to the arena so that EMTs can remove Goldberg from the fleshy grip of Paul Heyman's gut. Gonna need the jaws of life for that one. Even the commentary team is getting in on the Halloween fun. Byron Saxton there dressed in feety pajamas, Corey Graves dressed as David S. Pumpkins, and Michael Cole dressed as a halfway competent sportscaster. Where's Randy Savage? You're gonna love it. My name's Martin, and this Halloween I dressed up as John Cena and didn't show up to any of the Halloween parties I was invited to. I lost a lot of friends over that one. This week, Raw took place on Halloween, a holiday that allows people to dress in outlandish costumes that would get you laughed out of a room on any other night. Or as professional wrestlers know it, Monday. Straight out of the gate is Bill Goldberg, who calls out Brock Lesnar for a confrontation, which is the wrestling equivalent of trick-or-treating at a house that gives out apples and religious pamphlets. You're setting yourself up for disappointment if you actually expect Brock to show up. Unfortunately for Bill, his loud guttural screaming sounds not unlike the mating call of the wild Paul Heyman, who arrives to reenact the scene that took place when the ECW roster showed up on the last day of work to collect their earnings.
Gotcha! 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 I got each and every one of you!
Rusev shows up to chastise Goldberg as his opening pyro really disturbed his pet dog Ziggler, and now he can't get him back to sleep. And in case some of you are concerned about Goldberg's ability to still go, just watch this Hello fellow Marks, and welcome to the Mark Remark, the video equivalent of the guy who stands behind you at live wrestling shows shouting,